On this week's episode of Today I Would Like to Share.
Before we had a chance to close the distance between us and the guy, a blast of brownish yellow liquid exploded outwards in a fan pattern.
People have claimed that the dolls have blinked at them or moved their heads.
A handheld game that used influencers to promote the launch back in 2001 and then was ultimately killed by 9/11.
Hello, and welcome to Today I Would Like to Share, where we take some time out of our busy lives to share the things important to us. My name is Kyle, and with me today, I've heard that he just has two solid big teeth. Jordan.
Why have 32 when you can only have 2?
It just works better. Like, you're never going to chip them eating, like, a baguette or something.
And there's less to take care of.
Exactly. But if you get a cavity, I would assume it'd be really bad. Like, you can't just pull, you can't, like, if it gets super bad, you can't just pull the tooth because you're going to be a goat at that point. And he once guest starred on RuPaul's Drag Race, Andrew.
Yeah, but when I took my helmet off, it was not the type of drag race I thought it was.
Oh, man.
Still had fun.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you went on that show, you'd have fun no matter what.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so I don't know what's been good with the two of you, but I have since moved. It's been a while since we recorded, but I've been super busy packing stuff up, moving it, and I'm in Spring Lake now, which is awesome. Like, the view outside my window right now is just a huge maple tree, which is awesome.
Hell yeah. That's
Way
very
better
nice.
than my other place. Not that my other place
Glad
is
your
bad.
move went well.
Yeah, but, like, 4 days before I started moving, I broke my toe, so I had to move
fuck
with a
that
broken
game, by
toe.
the way.
Yeah, fuck that game. Mad Wave Motion Theater, you're horrible. But you're already taken out of production, and we just keep it because it was super expensive.
We just keep it to break our employees' toes.
Toes, exactly. But, I've been getting endless crap from the other technicians in my district from that. But, whatever. Things happen. But, so yeah, what's up? How you guys?
Not much here. I just got back from a nice little trip up north.
Oh, yeah.
That's very enjoyable. I sent you guys some pictures.
Yeah, those pictures you sent were pretty awesome.
Yeah, I had a blast.
Northern
Too
Michigan.
short, unfortunately, but hey, going back up that way and
Yep, just
3.5
got released. The
weeks.
Great Cabinet of 2019.
Hell yeah.
Heck yeah.
So pumped for that. That's really
How
the
about you,
only
Andy?
thing going on in my life right now. Just waiting for that to happen. Otherwise,
That's your birthday weekend, isn't it?
yeah, it is. I'm pretty
That's
pumped
awesome.
about that too. I don't typically like my birthday that much, but the fact that we're like doing something else besides my birthday makes it pretty exciting for me.
Yeah. Any excuse to hang out.
Yeah, definitely.
Agreed. Especially with people that we rarely ever see. So, I mean, I've never met Andrew in real life. So that'd be
Yeah.
cool.
Neither have I.
To
It's just
gaze
that
into
it's just
each
that
other's
time
eyes.
of age, or it's just that time in society, where like the internet exists. So you're going to meet a lot of people that you probably are never going to meet in real life, but you've spent hours and hours and hours with them. So
Right.
True.
I
Is
mean,
our connection
I
any
feel
less
like,
real?
feel like I know Andrew more than some of the people I knew in high school now. So,
yeah.
You know.
I know Andrew better than some friends I had in high school. People that were like in my friend group.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I could definitely say the same thing.
All right. Well, I will start us out today. Not that that's a surprise. I always do that. But I'm going to drop a chunk of text into the Discord in case y'all want to follow along. But this is just to open up some discussion about the topic in general. And that topic is amusement parks. And I bring it up for a couple reasons. I was browsing Reddit the other day, and I happened to find a video of a children's ride that had malfunction, and the speed control module was just going it messed up, so it just kept going faster and faster. Which when you first look at it, it's like, man, I've seen that happen on cartoons. That's funny. And then you go, oh right, real living human beings are in there. That is horrible. But I don't think anybody got hurt, so it was all good. But it kind of made me think that, what are some theme park or amusement park horror stories? So I happened to find this one, and I'll read that to you guys now. Many moons ago, I was assistant director of training security at a park known for its cartoon mouse. While doing the walk around the park with a group of new hires, I got a call about a possible indecent exposure incident at Fantasyland. Knowing that this was the most popular place for children in the park, so much more than Toontown, I rushed the new hires through the backstage area to cut travel time. While we were backstage behind the Small World ride, one of the trainees had pointed someone dropping their pants and leaning against the building. Before we had a chance to close the distance between us and the guy, a blast of brownish yellow liquid exploded outwards in a fan pattern. I stopped the group, got on the radio, and informed them of the bio incident that slowly made my way to the guy. When I was about 10 feet from him, he looked up, smiled, then blasted the wall again. Without a word, he pulled up his pants and started to walk away. His pants were soaked with liquid shit and piss. Before he was able to leave the area, Anaheim police apprehended him. After questioning him, they called for an ambulance. Upon talking with the police sergeant, found out he was a well-known homeless man in neighboring city of Orange, usually picked up for swinging his dick at traffic. The kicker, though, was he wasn't the subject of the initial call. When we finally got to Fantasyland, we found out that someone was complaining about a woman breastfeeding. 3.5 years of working there, and that is one of the events that still feels fresh in my mind.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's a lot to unpack.
I know, right? It's I love this because it's like they had to deal with this huge issue that wasn't even the issue they got a call about, and then the call was just a woman breastfeeding. It's like,
Yeah,
come
it wasn't
on,
even an issue.
Yeah, a
yeah,
non-issue.
a non-issue. Apparently, I had read a couple of other comments from people, and they say that in the summer months, that's like pretty busy, or like a pretty common call. It didn't sound like they really did anything about it. Like they didn't like take the mothers and throw them out or something, which is good, thank goodness. But like people freaking out about it. But yeah, so I mean that's just something to satisfy my need for drama. But really, what I wanted to talk about with you guys was I guess about amusement parks in general. I just I wanted to know what your most probably maybe just some stories you have if anything is interesting has happened, but like what's your most memorable moment at an amusement park?
Well, I'll start here. First of all, I love amusement parks. Like Cedar Point is my shit, but when I was, let's see, I had to have been probably 13, 14 years old. We went to Michigan Adventure, me and my parents. And you know the ride where you're sitting in like a log and you go up a giant thing?
Yeah,
and
log
you come
climb.
down and it makes a huge splash and people like standing on the bridge get splashed and crap.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we were going up and we were probably like 30 or 40 feet up the, I think it's a 100-foot hill or so. And it just stopped and it got stuck.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I was 12, 13 years old. I was freaking out at the time. I was like, what the fuck? I mean, I was like keeping calm. I wasn't screaming or anything. There was a girl behind me screaming, but we were sitting there for about 35 minutes until finally somebody was like, all right, we're undoing the lap bars. Everybody has to get off and climb down. And there's like a little staircase, but that's pretty crazy because we were probably 50 feet up in the air and we were just stuck there for 40 minutes. So it was a little scary, and I think I'll always remember that.
Is the part where you definitely didn't scream, it was a girl behind you, the part that is just like what the story was originally and now it's just part of your reality and you're the one that screamed originally?
I know I didn't scream.
It wasn't me, it was the little girl behind me.
Yeah.
My dad was sitting next to me, and he was a little annoyed with me because I was like, I was kind of like, man, I just want the hell out of this. This is fucked up. I don't want to be up here, you know? Like, I don't have a deathly... What am I trying to say? I'm not deathly afraid of heights, but, like, there's a point where it's like, okay, I'm pretty high up.
And I've been here
I'm
a
just
while.
sitting here. Something needs to happen, you know?
Yeah.
Well, it's because you have no control over the situation, right? You're like
Yeah.
locked in, you're strapped in, you're on a log. And also, the lie that you've been telling yourself all day while you're at an amusement park is that all these rides are safe and nothing ever goes wrong. So when it stops on the track up, you're immediately, especially at that age, you're immediately like, okay, that was a lie I was telling myself.
it's funny because real quick, I got another small story here. Sorry for taking it over, but so again, one time went to Michigan Adventure, but it was with and they have a ride called Shivering Timbers. Do you guys know what that is? It once was the tallest wooden roller coaster in the world. It's one of the longest wooden roller coasters in the world. But as we were driving in, there was a long line, and people were like throwing rocks up at it from out of the park. And I mean, me and were pretty young. We didn't know any better. But his dad was like, "Man, if one of those rocks gets on the track, it's gonna derail the whole thing." And then, so we got in there. We're like, "All right, we need to avoid that ride." First thing we do is that fucking ride. Just walks right over there, gets in line. He's like, "You guys ready?" And I mean, we were kind of freaked out, but obviously it didn't derail and we were fine.
Yeah, that guy was like that.
Yeah, he was.
I rode that roller coaster, and I went. Yeah, man, this was so long ago, but I went with somebody who I had a crush on, and I went with her stepdad onto Shivering Timbers. And he convinced me that roller coasters are more fun if you hold your arms up. This is the first time I've ever done that on a roller coaster, right? And he's like, hold your arms up. And this story doesn't have a great ending. It just turns out that I thought it was stupid as shit, and it wasn't fun. The roller coaster was, but holding your hands up did nothing for me. So, but I had one of those moments too where a ride broke down and we were on it for a very long time. Except for this wasn't a log flume and we didn't stop on the way up. It was one of those rides that it's like a pendulum, but this was a big circle, so you spun and then you pendulumed. And it broke before we even started swinging, so we just sat on this thing slowly going around in a circle for about 15 or 20 minutes.
Oh, God.
And it was so... I mean, it was okay because I went with... if you remember him...
Oh, I hate that kid. But yeah.
Yeah, he was okay back then, but the people sitting next to us were like these two punk people, like colored mohawks, black clothing, the whole shebang. They had like leather boots, and they were hilarious, and we were having a blast, like shooting off jokes. So it turned out to be a pretty good time, but sitting and spinning for 20 minutes isn't exactly great.
Right.
No,
that's not your ideal situation.
Yeah.
I do normally like those pendulum style rides though. It just feels like a giant version of a swing.
Yeah.
That's more fun. I don't know.
There's a really good one at Cedar Point that goes pretty high.
Yeah, is that the one where everyone sits in a circle and it like?
Yeah.
That one. Yeah, that one's good too.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
But there's another one where it's like two swings. They swing in opposite directions. But
all right, what's the name of the corkscrew ride where you're basically just in a half pipe going back and forth on the track?
I think it's called the corkscrew.
No, I know what you're talking about. It's the Twister or something like that.
The Twister, yeah, I think that might be it.
Where?
That ride is also a lot of fun.
Where you like go up and then
go
come
backwards
back.
and forwards through it.
I fucking love that ride, and
that's
Cedar Point's getting rid of it. So
you are right. Yep, it's called the Wicked Twister.
A little mad at them. But
wait, it's going away.
Yeah.
Oh, that's lame.
I know. That was a great ride.
I don't really have any stories about theme parks that are like negative to the point of a guy like
crapping pants.
Shoot his diarrhea all over a wall.
I just want to know your most memorable.
Mine, by far, my most memorable was once. I want to say I was like 16 or 17, like just recently started driving, and my dad won Cedar Point tickets on a radio contest, and didn't want to go, so he gave them to me, and I took my friend Josh with me, and we went down for the day. We got there when the park opened, and it was a weekday, and it was like almost empty. And I remember as soon as the park opened, we ran down to, oh man, what's the name of the best roller coaster at Cedar Point? Millennium
Force.
Millennium Force, yeah. We ran to that one. We were literally the first people in line for it and got the first car. Rode it, got back in the line, and it was literally like a 4-minute wait and got the front car again.
Nice.
So
Nice.
that was really awesome.
That
it was
ride
just like
is
two
amazing.
immediate rides out on my favorite ride there. and both having the front car. So that was a lot of
To
fun.
this day, that ride is still considered one of the best roller coasters in the world.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
It's very smooth feeling. Like, you know,
It is
sometimes
very
like roller
smooth.
coasters feel like really
Jerky.
jerky or rigid when you're taking like corners or like going upside down or something.
Yep.
That one has none of that. It's like the smoothest ride.
Well, it's funny
ever.
'cause-
You're just going super fast.
That's how a lot of, like, 95% of their newer rides are that have been built in the past 5 or 6 years. I went last year, and the newest ride, Steel Vengeance, dude, that shit is intense. It's amazing though, but it's intense.
The one ride I never liked
man,
though,
it
was
looks
the Raptor,
cool.
I think, where you're like, hey,
Raptor is my favorite.
I mean, I like the design of the ride and the things that you do, but every single time I've been on that ride, my head's bounced back and forth between
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
resting
yeah.
over
Yeah.
your shoulder, and it like gives me a headache every time I ride.
By far the smoothest ride there is the Gatekeeper. That's the newer
That
one.
must be a newer one.
Yeah, it is.
Haven't been on that
but
one.
it's like, holy shit! It's like what chewing 5 gum would feel like. I think that's how smooth it is.
Remember a couple months ago, or I think it was last year's summer, when you almost bought a plane ticket out to
Just to go
Michigan,
to Cedar
just
Point.
go to Cedar Point for a day.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm down.
I wish I could have pulled that off because I really wanted to go to Cedar Point.
If you ever want to go to Cedar Point and you actually come out here, I'll make a trip down there.
All right, yeah, let's do it.
Because I fucking love Cedar Point. And all their new rides are amazing. And it's honestly worth the extra $40 to get the fast pass because you can ride everything like 6 times and it's great.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know they had that as an option. Yeah, that sounds perfect.
Oh yeah.
So, my most memorable moment at a theme park was the first time I rode a roller coaster, which, until today, until right now, breaking news, guys, I told everybody that my first roller coaster was a rock and roller coaster in Disney World or Universal. I think it's Universal. I can't remember what park it is, down in Florida. And that's not true because I was deathly afraid of roller coasters for a very, very long time until this Florida trip where I went with a whole bunch of guys, a.k.a. Mitch and Brandon, and probably Durfee. It's usually how it went. And they were going to want to ride all the roller coasters. So they're like, Kyle, you've never ridden one. That's fine, but you got to ride them. You got to ride them. They're awesome. It's like, okay, sure. They're like, we'll just go ride this little one over here. And it was just like a really tiny roller coaster. Probably pretty much just a kid coaster. And they're like, we won't even tell anybody you rode this one. We'll say your first roller coaster was a rock and roller coaster. I'm like, sure. Okay, cool. No problem. So we rode it, and it was like, okay, that's not bad. Like I was always an anxious kid, an anxious person. But it was like, but riding that was like, okay, like I get it now. Like, okay, that was cool. That felt cool. But like I still sat down on the rock and roller coaster when it was time to ride that, and I was anxious the whole line. I sat down and I'm white knuckling the grips and everything. And Brandon, I sat next to Brandon. He just kind of looks over me, and goes like, "Yeah, you're not gonna want to do that, man. That's not gonna be good." I'm like, "Okay, I need to relax." So I need to force myself to relax, but I'm anxious, so I can't. And just like sitting there, just like, oh god. But after like the first launch. Because that one has like it shoots you off at 60 miles per hour and then goes through the whole roller coaster. After the first launch, it was just like, it was awesome and I loved it. And we rode it like 6 more times that day.
Just pure fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a heck of a lot of fun.
It doesn't take long for the adrenaline
Dude.
to just like kick in and take over.
Yeah.
My first roller coaster ever was the Magnum at Cedar Point.
Yeah. Okay.
And I rode that last summer, and I'll never fucking ride it again because it's the most rough. Like,
Yeah.
I felt like
It is a super rough ride.
I
Yeah.
felt like I wasn't gonna have children ever because that's how rough it is.
Man.
What was your first
Yeah.
roller coaster, Andrew?
My first roller coaster. I'm actually. I think it was the. It had to have been Michigan Adventure. I'm trying to remember the order of theme parks I did because when I was younger, it was like I got introduced to roller coasters by my dad, and it was in like rapid fire succession. I want to say we went to Michigan Adventure, but that same summer, like we also went to Six Flags, and I just don't remember the order of that. I want to say Michigan Adventure was first, so I want to say it was either that wooden roller coaster in Michigan Adventure, or the corkscrew
Oh, nice.
metal roller coaster they had there. One of those two.
Gotcha.
Right on.
Nice.
Yeah, I kind of like brought it up and wanted to ask because like later in my years as a human being, like I don't really care for amusement parks. Like I went to them and I had fun when I was younger, but like when people are like, "Hey, we're planning a Cedar Point trip. You want to come along?" I go, "No, I'm cool. I'll take that day off myself and just do nothing." Because they just, I don't know, don't really do anything for me anymore.
Fair
And
enough.
it's not that I hate them or like I don't think roller coasters are fun or anything. It's just like not one of those forms of amusement that I just seek out. I don't know why. I don't know what changed, but
Yeah.
Getting old
I mean,
sucks, man.
I don't know. I think I like around the time I stopped going is when I started off-roading, and they kind of satisfy like the same need, a little bit less speed, but like it going over a sand dune or a hill is a lot like cresting the hill on a roller coaster. But
Yeah.
it's a challenge because you got to get up it and you have to drive correctly and you have to take this angle and stuff like that. So it's just a lot more engaging, and I thought it was more fun, and I
Oh,
kind of
yeah,
just like
definitely.
lost interest. I don't want to say that's like the only reason, but it's one of the things that can contribute to it.
See,
Yeah,
what I really want to do more of is like whitewater rafting and like kayaking through those kind of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fun. I can't say I've ever done that, but I'd be totally willing to do
I've
it.
done whitewater rafting once, and then, I mean, it's nothing like whitewater rafting, but Kyle's Cottage on one of the longer kayak rides, there's some pretty good moments where like
Yeah.
you got to dodge some
Some
stuff.
faster moving water, and you had to dodge logs and trees and duck and weave and stuff. So
Yeah,
it can be quite fun.
Cool.
cool.
But yeah, so that's what I had to share.
I hope you guys are ready to get creeped out. Today,
Can't creep the creeper.
I would like to share something called the Island of the Dolls. Have you guys ever heard
Okay.
of this?
No, but I already don't like it.
Oh,
Yeah, dolls
yes.
actually like freak me out.
Yeah.
They don't even have to be on an
Oh,
island.
yes. Just wait. I'm going to post a picture in Discord and look at it if you want. It's kind of
Is this like one of those things where like the shoe trees where everybody throws their shoes into a tree, but this is an island with dolls?
Kinda, somewhat, not really. Okay, here we go. There's a picture in Discord. That's not. I don't think that's the one I wanted, but you get the point.
Okay. See, this isn't okay. You can't. This should be illegal.
You should see the picture that I wanted to show you because it's worse than that. But anyways, there's a story behind this I would like to share with you guys. So obviously, it's called the Island of Dolls. Obviously, there's dolls everywhere all over this island. Originally, the island was owned by a man named Don Santana, and it's full of dolls hanging.
That's a power name.
It is.
Right?
Yeah, it really is.
Full of dolls hanging from trees and buildings covered with cobwebs and insects. The place was named in the 1950s. It was named the Island of the Dolls, and the owner began to hang them as protection against evil spirits. According to the legend, a young woman drowned, entangled among the lilies of the canal, and her body was found by some locals there. After Don bought the island, he began to experience inexplicable situations that terrified him, so he placed dolls around that he found in the canals that washed up on shore. I guess they found a doll near the girl's body that died, so he has that one hanging in the middle of the island because he thought it was hers, and he hung it out of respect, which is weird. But
Yeah.
nowadays,
Also, that probably should have been turned in to the police for evidence. but-
probably. The crazy part is Don Santana in 2001 died there. His body was reportedly found in the exact spot where they found the girl's body. 50 years later, or before he died, they found a girl's body there. Same death.
So the dolls didn't even work?
He
They got him
drowned.
anyway?
Yes, he drowned. Same area, same death. Nowadays, this place is a tourist attraction.
I feel like everything people do to ward off demons, spirits, stuff like that is all the stuff that attracts evil spirits. It's like a
Yes.
calling card. Like,
Yeah.
hey, look,
Well-
I'm afraid of demons and spirits. Come possess me.
Well, that's the thing. After he found the girl's doll and hung it out of respect, supposedly he began to hear whispers, footsteps, and anguished wails in the darkness.
Because you took her doll, and like, dude, if she's gonna haunt something, it's gonna be the doll. So like, you brought it, you brought this upon
Right.
yourself, you
And
idiot.
that was the original doll he hung. So, like, out of fear, he spent the rest of his life basically putting up dolls and, like, body parts all over the island. But anyways, now it's a tourist attraction. People go there. It's been showed on several, like, ghost hunter shows. And people just love it. A lot of people say when they go there, they don't feel anything. But a lot of people also say like they feel that there's a presence there, and people have claimed that the dolls have blinked at them or moved their heads. And I mean, who knows what's real? But that shit's fucking terrifying. And I don't.
How great would it be to pin up an animatronic doll somewhere?
Yes, that would be incredible. But anyways, I mean that's all I have on this island, and. I mean, I'm not a fan of dolls, and I guess there's a lot of porcelain dolls there, which is even worse.
Those are the creepiest ones.
And
I would not. I mean,
the creepiest.
I would visit a lot of places. I would not visit this place.
The creepiest part to me is there's like he literally just ripped off body parts from dolls and like just hung them around or morphed them with other dolls, and it's messed up. I'm about to
feel
post
like
another picture in Discord. Look at this.
I feel like
It's creepy.
he might have been the evil spirit that someone else should have warded off.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
Jesus.
No kidding.
Oh yeah, that's a very creepy picture. It's basically that doll head does not belong to the doll
It
body.
does not.
And then it's got like a little creepy skirt too.
And then behind it, there's just a body with no head. And
Oh yeah.
so.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
that's not good.
And it's got like one strand of hair. That hair does not belong there. I'm sorry, but anyways, my question from this today is, if you guys were to own an island and thought there was evil spirits on it, what would you put all around the island to vanish the spirits?
I think I said this earlier, dude. Nothing. I'm not gonna put up a calling card. I'm just gonna live a normal life and never say I'm afraid of ghosts out loud. I mean, mainly because I'm not, but don't take chances.
Okay.
And just live a normal life.
Not worth the
Fair
risk.
enough. I guess. Okay, let me ask you a different question for you, Kyle.
Wait, no, I want to answer that question. Hold on, you can't just take Kyle's answer.
Well, no,
and
I
move
know.
on.
I'm gonna give him a different question, then we'll come back to you. Actually, you do you first, and then I'll ask Kyle his other question.
I always do me, baby.
All right.
But yeah, all right. So if I'm warding off evil spirits, I also subscribe to Kyle's theory here that putting up creepy, washed up old dolls is what brought an evil spirit to this island in the first place. So what I would do is try to get an evil spirit that I can tolerate at least. So to like ward off the original evil spirit, I would put maybe like arcade cabinets around or something. Maybe get like a creepy video game addiction type spirit going.
So you can always have a player too.
Right, get a player 2 going. Someone play Street Fighter 2 with me. I mean, yeah, that's what I would do. I would just take it to a different evil direction that I'm more aligned with.
That's a good point though, because evil doesn't always have to be like you murder 10 people.
No,
Like
for
murder
sure.
or evil is also those people in quiet situations who constantly click their pens. Like, they're
Oh, yeah,
evil
that's-
too.
That's evil. Yeah. I'm pretty sure they warn about that in the Bible somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, I enjoy.
What's your second question?
Yeah.
Okay. So, screw the evil spirits. Screw everything. Let's just say you roll up on an island, and there's a bunch of something there just hanging up on trees or whatever. What would you want it to be?
Can I answer this question a little differently? But like, if I was a ghost, what island filled with junk would I haunt?
Okay, fair enough.
I would haunt Andrew's island so I could be his player 2 in Street Fighter.
Oh, hell yeah, man. I hope you play Street Fighter 2.
All right, I'm gonna be the third ghost, and I'll just be the announcer.
Need someone to shot call.
You can turn off the TV when I'm about to lose, and so I can win.
Yeah, I always got your back, cop.
Yeah, thanks. Just make his controller not work for a second. Man, I'm getting a bunch of baby pictures today. Elena sent me a
what?
picture of Jack, and then Amber just sent me a picture with her new what's it called when your sibling has a child? Niece, or
nephew.
niece. It's a yeah.
Andrew just sent me a picture of her new baby. Did I say Andrew? I meant Amber.
You did say Andrew.
I thought you were about to say Amber has a kid.
No.
Anyways,
I kind of wish. My plan in life was always to just start dating a single mom, and so I wouldn't have to worry about having kids or anything like that. I just have like a built-in one, and I'd be stepdad. So all I really need to do is just like be a good friend. I don't really have to be dad.
Just finger guns every now and then. Pew, pew,
Oh,
pew.
dude, finger guns all the time. Change topics.
I don't want to be here anymore.
Life is pain, Jordan, make it stop.
All right, today I would like to share a handheld game that used influencers to promote the launch back in 2001 and then was ultimately killed by 9/11.
Wait, what? This took a swing.
Yeah, let that sink in a
That
minute. Hold on.
sequence.
I was thinking for a second, like, what is this, like a Pokemon game? And then like killed by 9/11. Whoa.
What?
Yeah, not in the way you think, but yeah, this is a weird story. I actually first got interested in this because I thought it was like, oh, maybe a very early use of influencers, like before the internet was really like huge or there were internet style influencers. But then also the way that this project like basically died and never really saw a full release was interesting as well. So the game is called Pox.
Okay.
I doubt you've heard of it, but maybe you have. It was made by Hasbro. I'm sure you know them.
Yeah, I'm aware of Hasbro.
Okay. Here, this is the game manual.
Oh yes.
It's on Hasbro's site still, but you can tell that it was obviously scanned in by an intern like in 2004.
It's not
or
even
something.
straight.
It's a very bad photocopy of the
Oh,
original
I said that as a
instructions.
joke, but really isn't straight.
Yeah, it's not straight. Yeah, it's honestly a bad photocopy of the instructions.
Dude, I
Player
love
versus
video game.
universe.
Yeah, this is a very interesting game. It's a sci-fi backstory. So basically, a couple of viruses, nasty ones from outer space, got to Earth during a meteor shower. They've been captured and analyzed by Earth scientists, and now they're stored inside the Pox unit.
Hell yeah.
The goal of the player is to create a Pox/nanobot hybrid that can destroy all the other Pox strains and save Earth from the alien menace.
Oh my god. Amazing.
So it actually was introduced to the world in a viral marketing scheme that was pretty interesting. Essentially, Hasbro's market researchers went into playgrounds, skate parks, and arcades in Chicago looking for what they called alpha pups. And God, is that a weird ass name? Like,
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Alpha Pups.
Alpha Pups.
So an Alpha Pup apparently is the coolest kid in school. I've never heard this phrase before, but that's what they use. They went up to kids between the ages of 8 and 13 and asked them, who's the coolest kid you know? When they got a name, they went to that kid and asked him the same question. They did that until they got up the hierarchy of coolness until someone finally said, it's me. I'm the coolest. Then they told that person, hey, we'll pay you $30 to learn a new video game. So basically, they found out who are the influencers in Chicago arcades and schools and then paid them to pimp out the Pox game to all their friends. It's kind of interesting. Essentially, each person that they narrowed down in the Alpha Pup group was brought in to do a focus group. They were showed the Pox units. They were given 10 to distribute out to their friends afterwards. All right, the Pox units actually were really cool because it's an interesting... Oh, no way. Did you really just find one on eBay that's for sale?
There's a ton of them on eBay that's for sale.
Oh my god.
And nobody gives a shit about them. They're only $20.
Yeah.
These are not collectibles, I guess, yet. But they used radio frequency chips to communicate to each other. So anyone within, I think it was 30 feet, you can battle with them.
What?
So that's actually pretty cool for a handheld system, and it's really really unique for that market at the time. If you remember all the other kind of handheld games around that time were the Tamagotchis and the Digimon battling handheld systems where you had to actually physically connect them together.
And then you had to press
anything.
really hard or they'd disconnect and just freak out.
Yeah, they were really actually kind of difficult to do the multiplayer elements of that. So this is pretty seamless way, and they got some great responses from all the kids that were in the focus group, and it was really going to take off. And unfortunately, a lot of their marketing messaging was based on these pox aliens attacking cities in the U.S. And it was really ominous marketing messaging too, oh, these are coming for your city next, and everything in the United States is under attack and we needed to defend them. And the Pox units performed really strongly in the Chicago market, so Hasbro partnered with Toys R Us. They were working on a nationwide launch slated for September 23rd, 2001.
Oh my
Get
god.
ready for that Christmas season. It was going to launch in 9 cities after Chicago and then roll all the way out. But in an unfortunate timing circumstance, the terrorist attacks of 9/11 and also the 2001 anthrax attacks raised a lot of doubts for Toys R Us side of the engagement, and they pulled out, and Hasbro had to actually completely pull the game from the market because of parents' reactions to the game along with those anthrax attacks.
Man, that is crazy.
So yeah, that's Pox.
What?
May have started influencer marketing, but also was killed by 9/11.
That's gotta be the worst luck of all time.
Maybe not all time,
Well, yeah, not all time.
but it's pretty up
for
there.
a video
It's
game
pretty up
company,
there.
at least.
Yeah.
You know?
And honestly, looking through the manual and reading about the game, it seems like a cool game. I definitely would have played this.
We should buy him and take him up north.
Dude, heck, I would totally do that. I love this kind of thing. I remember I had one when I was a kid that was you'd scan barcodes and there'd be different monsters in the barcodes.
Oh, yeah.
And then you'd fight them and capture them.
Those are dope.
And these proprietary handheld weird devices were just fucking cool.
We should bring them back.
I remember I didn't have this one in particular that I'm about to post, but it was the Digimon Digivice season 2 one.
Yeah, that's the one I had.
But I had the black one, and I remember playing it and getting pretty far in the game, but I couldn't get any farther because my Digimon just wasn't strong enough. And then I figured out that if you shake it before the fight, you can digivolve your Pokemon, and just Dude, I love this stuff so much. Like, I want one of these Pox things really bad. They're so cool. But
I
yeah,
mean, the fact that it's wireless for the multiplayer,
Yeah,
is
especially
just
in
like
2001.
nobody else was doing that, and then people kind of abandoned the handheld game market around this time too. So this was like the one of the greatest leaps as far as innovation for that type of product line, but then also kind of the death of that market altogether.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Man.
unfortunate. It was like groundbreaking, but never broke the ground.
This stuff needs to make a comeback. And I guess it kind of has with like Pokemon Go had like the special watch that you could use
Yeah.
to do stuff, but like too complicated. No,
Well, the problem
give me a crappy LCD screen with like 24 pixels.
Yeah, right?
Well, that I think smartphones kind of killed that
Yeah,
technology
exactly.
too, because if you're gonna put the effort into creating the software, you don't want to put the money behind creating the hardware as
yeah.
well.
That-
if you could just launch it for phones,
Yeah, that would get
Well,
you.
especially nowadays, everything's all about graphics. So,
True, yeah. How impressed would we be with just black lines on an LCD screen?
plus people
Dude,
pay
graphics
thousands
killed. Sorry, go ahead.
people pay thousands of dollars for their smartphone, so they want to use it. So,
But graphics killed gaming for a little bit.
yeah, for sure.
When it was just
True.
like, look how pretty it is, and people thought that was important, and then all these games were bad, and then people
Crisis.
started emulating the bad games because that's what was selling, and it just like, okay, video games got shitty for a second.
It all started
Luckily, we're
with
getting out of
Crisis.
that. Yeah, well, Crisis 1, yeah, you know what? Crisis 1 was a shitty game, but it was a technical achievement.
Yeah.
And then they released Crisis 2, and it was a fucking joke. Like, the trees were sprites. Like, really? What? But yeah. I love this. I love that you found this, and I love that this manual is now on my computer, because I love this stuff.
Yeah, and you know what? This manual kind of reminded me of old style video game instructions, because if you scroll towards the end, there's what do these icons on the screen mean?
Yep.
And that's every single game manual back in the day had this. Here's all your enemies, and here's what they do.
So good.
I'm going to send an email to Hasbro, tell them to bring it back.
Bring it back. The world's ready.
So ready.
They said they never would, but they forgot 9/11. Don't worry.
It's 18 years. It's not too soon.
Man, I love this.
This is unrelated, but it's unrelated. But it's an interesting quote, and it might take me a second to find it. When I was doing research on this, I was kind of reading. There's not too many actual articles about this, and the two that I could find were both not with the original publisher. It was just copies of the article on somebody else's website. And one was on the Wayback Machine, but oh man, where is it? I might not be able to find it. It was just a quote about video games in general, and it really spoke to the state of video gaming culture at the time that this came out, because the quote was essentially from the author who was writing the article about this handheld game. And it was something like, at best playing video games is a waste of time, and at worst it's basically changing the way you think to be more violent. It was I can't remember the original wording, but I was just like, wow, okay. That's a very harsh take on what video games are.
Yeah. Man. I feel all nostalgic now. And we should scrap every video game idea we had before and just make basically the Digimon device clone, where you just where you just get it, you pick a starter dude, and that starter dude evolves into something else eventually, and then you can click a button really fast in a fight to make it go. Just something
But we could
really
make
simple.
it.
I because sorry, go ahead.
That'd be cool, but hear me out. Have a handheld device where you fish with. You go to certain bodies of water, and you can use it
Oh
for
my
fishing.
god. Pokemon Go, but fishing.
Boom.
That sounds pretty cool.
That would be really awesome.
And it would just like, it would like geo track you and just like look up what kind of fish in that like region is common.
Right.
And then you would just catch one of those.
But you gotta
That'd be
make
pretty
like
cool.
the actual motion with the device.
Right, yeah,
And
absolutely.
it'll like rumble when like something catches on and you have to like shake it to catch it or something.
Wait, did you ever play those old handheld fishing
Heck
games?
yeah,
Where
dude.
You had to like throw the
Oh yeah. Those are
like handheld system forward to cast, and it had a little reel on the side that you had to crank.
those are great. Those are great.
That's what the device should be. It's just that.
Yeah,
but on the go.
absolutely.
True. True.
Oh my god.
I don't actually have a question to go along with this one. I mean, I was thinking like, oh, I can ask you about like, what's your favorite old school handheld game? But we'd
Yeah,
all say the Digimon
yeah.
device. So
You know, I guess I kind of understand how, but like, it surprises me that Pokemon took off so much more than Digimon, because Digimon is so cool.
Digimon is really cool, and I was a total Digimon geek
Dude,
when I
same
was younger.
here.
I was like religiously watching all the episodes as they came out of the TV show.
Because it
I
was
had
good.
both versions of the Digivice like handheld thing, the season 1 version and the season 2 version, and
If you go
it was
back
such a good show.
and watch watch 2 episodes of the Pokemon anime and then watch 2 episodes of the Digimon anime, dude, the Digimon one is so good. It's like a legit good show.
Yeah. The thing about the Digimon show that got me was that the villains were really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like they did the villains
Yeah,
really
yeah.
well, in my opinion.
I enjoyed
like
them.
every time there was a new villain, I was like, oh man, this guy's actually kind of
It made
Badass.
stakes. There were stakes.
yeah.
And
I
the
enjoyed
games are
both
so
of them.
cool too.
I
Man.
actually never really played any of the games besides the handheld stuff.
I've played a couple and I've liked them, all of them.
I
I like the
never-
concept that your Digimon isn't always what state it is. It can go backwards, it can go forwards. Like they're not evolving, they're digivolving, which is just like a fluid transition, which is super interesting in a time of like gender and sexual fluidity that we have now. It's like you're not always like one thing. You move and you change. I don't know. It's just every time I think more about Digimon, I think about how fucking good it was, and it was not in its time. It needed to be later. The world wasn't ready for Digimon.
It was. I mean, it's all based on like the internet. Like the whole premise of this story is that like there's these other creatures that are using our networks with us, and like I don't know, it maybe could have landed better if it came out later. I definitely don't disagree with that.
Sorry, Jordan, we interrupted you a couple times. What were you saying?
I was just agreeing with everything, and I was going to add, I don't know how. I do not know how the hell. What am I trying to say? Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh took off so much. I didn't understand Yu-Gi-Oh.
If there is one constant on this earth, it's that card games make money.
Oh yeah.
That's very true. That's very true.
I mean, look at all the digital
Didn't
card games that
Nintendo
exist now.
start like in the 1800s as a trading card company?
I don't know.
I could just be pulling that out of nowhere, but I feel like I'm just gonna Google Nintendo Origins and see what comes up. I feel like they started as a 1889, and they were a trading card company.
Hanafuda playing cards. The company had tried several small niche businesses such as cab services and love hotels,
Whoa.
abandoning previous ventures in favor of toys in the 1960s. 1889, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah, they're an old company. Dang.
I was reading something the other day that Nintendo had to really push the concept of like the term video game because so many people were calling any video game Nintendo's that they were afraid they were going to lose their license or their copyright to it.
Trademark?
Yeah, trademark. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Do you guys?
Yeah.
Do you guys remember Pogs?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Pogs were the shit.
I never played. I just had a bunch.
I had a bunch of Pogs and had no idea how to play Pog.
I
Yeah.
collected a ton of them and had no idea, and then I learned one day and I played like 3 or 4 times. I just enjoyed collecting them.
But like our Pogs back then was today's like Overwatch and Fortnite loot boxes.
Right, exactly.
It's
yeah.
all the same thing. It doesn't matter.
Well,
it doesn't do anything.
That's
it
how all the
looks
Pokemon
like it.
cards and shit were too, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
well,
a good
I mean,
point.
there was a
yeah.
game to play behind the Pokemon cards.
Yeah,
But I mean, they were loot boxes because it's a random chance to get like the cards you're going for, I guess.
as a kid, though, I never played. I didn't play a game of Pokemon until I was 17, and me and a friend thought it'd be funny to go buy a couple decks and play at lunch during high school. But I just had cards and never played. I didn't even know how to play. The rules were too complicated.
Yeah, I mean, I think I tried to play a few times with my friends. I'm almost 100% certain we had no idea how to actually play, and we were making it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was mostly in it for the cards. Actually, when it came to Pokemon cards, I was really into just one set. I wanted to get all of the Team Rocket set. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that
yeah.
set.
I do remember that. Yeah.
I actually still have the Team Rocket set, and almost all of them. I think I'm missing like
Nice.
4 cards from it.
I sold all mine, unfortunately.
Those are the only ones I haven't sold.
Sold all my
Man,
Magic cards.
we
too.
certainly went down a rabbit hole.
Oh
Yeah, this is the longest one yet.
This is what Pox will do to you.
Man, yeah, man. That just opened up a door, man. Jesus. Well, that about wraps it up for this episode of Today I Would Like to Share. Join us again next time where we do it all again. And remember, as Snoop Dogg says, it ain't no fun unless the homies can't have none.
Okay, bye. I always do me, baby.